Well, let's test the audio out as everybody gets in here. We're a little early, a couple minutes early, but give a chance to check out the audio that we're sounding good. You know the drill as we count down to zero there. And when I hear me, that means we're ready to go. Let's the drum roll, please. There we go. I hear myself. All righty. Get all situated here. Of course, this is the time on the podcast we would be rolling, but let's do what we always do. Let's roll the open. You guys ready? That's right, ready in three, two, one. Here we go.
Well, it's baseball time in Siouxland once again. The Explorers are out to bring home another win. And when they take the field, they'll be hitting and running and stealing. So come out to the park for that big league good time feeling. Well, it's baseball Sioux City style. Baseball Sioux City style. Gonna conquer the league. Hold on to your seat. The Explorers just won't be beat.
Oh, yes. There we go. We fade it down. That's the open jam. Got to get the baseball Sioux City style. Gets the juices flowing, you know. All right. Happy New Year. What did we miss edition here? It's the 7th of January, 2026. Do you guys miss the old days when you were writing checks? Do you remember this? You folks that are old like me, remember writing checks and you'd write a check in January and you were so used to writing 20, well, would be 25. You're so used to writing 1996 or whatever it was, 99, and you went to 98 or 99. You know what I'm saying, right? You went the next year and you're still writing 98. Remember Y2K? Remember that? Yeah. Anyway, yeah. But you have to pause a moment and go, wait, make sure that wait, okay, we are in 26. So glad you're along, Explorers Expresso, the first show of the new year as we count down slowly but surely to the 26th season. I'm Dan Vaughn. I'm the voice of the Sioux City Explorers. And I'm glad you're along today on Facebook Live. We're on my YouTube. And of course, you podcast listeners, you got your ears listening. We're glad you're along as well. You podcast folks got the bonus content coming up a bit later on. We have a surprise guest in about 10 minutes because we are early. So we're all good about 10 minutes from now, but we got I have a couple extra things to get to before we get there. And we'll get there. But my question for you as we start things off here, Jason, good to see you as well. I got two questions for you, okay? I got two. And I guess generically, because it is the new year, what was the moment during the holiday that made you look forward to the 26th season? Was there a time? Did you get a gift, or did you maybe have an experience or a conversation with someone that you said, you know what, I can't wait to the 26th baseball season? That's question one. And the other question I think we'll be asking the next couple of weeks, and I think this is probably into February. Maybe we may be asking this all the way into April and May. But so far, what's the most exciting roster addition that you think the X's aside? Who is it? Who is the most exciting roster addition? Who is the player, the name that I can't wait to see that guy play, or man, I'm so glad this guy's back, or whatever the case may be. Or maybe that's still to be determined. But at the moment, where we sit right now, who is it? Who is that player of the what is it we got so far? I had this up a moment ago. The roster we've got. What are we looking at? So far, so good. Let's see. Meet the X's here. I'm trying to meet the X's, and it's not meeting the X's. That's weird. Anyway, trying to pull the roster up, and let's see what'll come up. There we go. No. Weird. There we go. Okay. Is it Alberto Osuna, Ben DeTay, Virgilio Vasquez, Caden Matlin, Cameron Buford, Dylan Tatum, Elliott Good, Julio Rosario, Ryan Beard, Tanaj Thomas, Trey Morrell, Jason Asensio. I mean, which of those names are you most fired up about as we head into what is the first week of January? Now, you may have another name you hear later on and go, wow, I'm so fired about that guy. But at the moment, who's the player right now that you're most fired up about? And Joel, good to see you as well. Who is that player? Um, and I think we've all probably got one or two out there, right? I would think. I would think. But anyway, that's my questions to you. What do we miss so far? The holidays, the Christmas show. Hope your Christmas was great. Hope your New Year's was great. Your Boxing Day for us Australians was great. It was up and down at my house. We had a phenomenal Christmas, a crappy New Year Day in Miami for me. We had a rough weekend last weekend as we lost the dear departed pup. I'm not going to talk much about that at the moment because I think I can get through the show without. I have a heavy heart, okay? And you guys are my baseball family, and I don't mind sharing this with you. I have a very heavy heart and fighting through it. That's why I'm in a different set today, and we're making some adjustments to the show so I can go forward. But I appreciate you folks who reached out in the thoughts and prayers and the loved comments on social media. Thank you guys. I love y'all. Appreciate it. But a heavy heart for me. But I hope your holiday was great. I think in the end it was all good. We had your black eyed peas. You had your great Christmas celebration. But again, was there a point you said, man, I can't wait to the season? We all have that feeling when it gets really cold outside. A couple news and notes. Let's get to a couple things first. We get to our guests because I think this is these are things you may have missed. This happened. This is one we've not announced yet, but I'm going to go ahead and put it up there. Jeremy Goins retired over the course of the last week. This would have been over the weekend. We had to announce it on social media, but I knew we had a show coming up. It really would have gotten buried last weekend with all the New Year's stuff and the Bulls. But Jeremy Goins, young man, University of Tampa, was a really good story to watch him kind of bloom as a youngster coming up 2 years ago in 24, coming in late, really found his way, was a solid contributor. But I think we all get to the point in our career, whatever it is we do, in the sporting world, let's say, where you sort of like, it's time to hang him up. And for Jeremy, he hung him up, and we wish him the best. Wish him nothing but the best, but a fine young man. But Jeremy Goins retiring over the weekend, and tip of the cap to him. Look forward to catching up with him down the road here on Explorers Expresso. That's the first piece of news. What else do we miss? Well, I'm going to put this up on the screen, and you guys may have seen this. I'm gonna put this up on the screen, so bear with me a moment. I'll put this up. You may have missed this. You probably saw this, but let me put this up on the screen, and let me go ahead and do this, and let me do this, and
The thing about buying a new baseball glove in your 40s is you wonder if you'll play long enough to justify the cost. The past 2 summers of playing professional baseball has been a wild ride, but just like in life, all things must pass. Today, I'm officially retiring from playing professional baseball. My improbable comeback includes going 7-3 when I'm 44 and 45 years old. In doing so, I became the oldest person in league history to earn a win. I'm the only elected official to play professional baseball while actively serving. And somehow that was good enough to earn a request from the National Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown for my jersey. I'm incredibly grateful to the Sioux City Explorers and the American Association. Thank you to all of my teammates who allowed me to just be one of the guys. And lastly, thank you to Sioux City. It's been an honor to represent you on the baseball field as much as it's an honor to represent you down at the Iowa Capitol. Thank you.
there we go.
The thing about buying a new
Sorry
baseball...
about that. There we go. J.D. Schulten retiring from baseball. Would have been over, it was in the holiday. It was actually smack dab in the middle of Christmas week. And we did post some stuff right there. It was actually right there after we did our show on Monday. I think that was Monday, right before Christmas. I believe it had been Christmas Eve, I believe it was. So Christmas Eve is when he announced that, and we went ahead and we didn't do a lot with him, but I did reach out to JD. JD's going to join me down the road, probably one of our shows coming up in tail of the month or the 1st of February. So there's what you missed. What else have we missed? Well, let me put this down. Let me do this because it's guest time. And let me do this little segue, because this is a segue that I did a couple weeks ago. You guys may remember this little interview segue. Let's do it here. Well, let's bring that down. Wait, who is that? Who is that? My surprise guest. Introduce yourself, sir.
What's going on, Dan?
And Nate Gherkin, my friend. You are the surprise guest. I kind of teased it. First off, let me bring this little graphic down because that's got in my head. First off, you know, I kind of take it that maybe I should give you the floor here because you and I chatted a little bit, but maybe before we dive into anything, do you have any plans for 26?
I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Usually it's what, a day before the season starts. Um, but now if everything goes right, I'll probably be heading back to Sioux City for 26.
Absolutely great news, my friend. Absolutely great news. I know that I know I talked to the front office as well. They were well in tune with that, but we'll be making the official press release announcement. But I kind of want to do it here because you and I have always joked about this. We've always joked about it that we would one day like live announce that you were coming back, and now we don't have to worry. I mean, that's the plan. The plan is I've already heard this from Steve and Bobby and Tom, and now from you. You know, we just gotta the paperwork can take care of itself. That's for all the big wigs. I just want that
Yeah.
news out there for you
I don't
folks.
think it's not official yet, but we usually don't sign that contract till, I don't know, in Mongo's office opening day. So uh
Pitchers on the field in 20 minutes. Oh, here's your contract, Girk. That's
yeah.
how it works usually, right?
Usually that's the last 4 years, that's how it's been. So it's been working out pretty well like that, and I don't really give them too much trouble on my contract. So as long as they want me back and we agree to that, everything else takes care of itself.
Boys Expresso, we got Nate Gherkin with you here. Now, I have a couple things. The first thing I wanted to ask you about, first off, how was your holiday? I hope it was great. Did you do anything exciting? Just hang out in the mountain time zone? What'd you do?
Um, Thanksgiving, I went to see my sister. She just had her second child, so went and hung out with my niece and nephew. And Christmas, we kind of just hung around here and nothing too big and just enjoyed it. What about you?
Oh, we were here. How was mom, by the way? I mean, we'll just catch up. How was mom?
She was good. She came out for Thanksgiving and got to spend time with the grandkids and do all that. So it was nice seeing her. Hopefully
Oh,
we'll get an appearance in Sioux City.
there you go. There we go. Oh, she's awesome. I want to start with this one from before that Ben DeTay was on about a month and a half ago, and he went to some of the guys that made it. You know, of course, he's re-signed, coming back, youngster. I mean, he's a kid for crying out loud. Does he have his license?
Don't remind me how old I am.
Well, he had to remind us, but he did say, "This is where I'm going." I asked him, "Who are some of the inspirational folks besides Bobby and with Bobby's work?" He mentioned, Chase Jesse, and he mentioned you. And I'm interested because that's something you and I've talked about a little bit, and I mentioned this in the broadcast. You kind of have a role down there, besides being a pitcher down the bullpen, but you're also a mentor, kind of a bullpen coach. And you and I talked about that during the season. What was the relationship between you and Ben DeTay, and how did that come about?
Yeah, I mean I wouldn't say I'm an appointed bullpen coach, but I think being around Bobby and Mongo long enough that I kind of can sense where they're going to go, and I just do my best to help the younger guys or new guys of like, hey, you might want to start moving around, or they might go to you or you. I'm not right all the time, but I'm pretty close. So I just try to help those guys. I mean, especially a guy like Ben coming straight out of college, it is a shock from every aspect of the word, right? So the clubhouse, how we warm up, what we do, and a few of the other college kids we've had, like I remember JJ wasn't like he wanted to put his uniform on at 3 o'clock to go play catch, and I'm like, yeah, we don't do that around here. But no, I mean, I don't force anything on anybody. If they ask for help, I'm there to help. I've been in this league way too long, so I kind of know how everything works, and and just try to help them out as much as I can. Because when I was that age, I was getting help, and I tried to learn as much as I could from the older guys. And now I'm the older guy.
Definitely, Nate Gherkin with us here on Explorers Expresso. Dan Vaughn with you. Yeah, you and I were talking about this. I think we were in Sioux Falls. You and I had a conversation that, and it's the little things. It's not so much the throwing and getting, how's my curveball look or how's my velocity. It's more like the mental approach of when to be, start thinking. I mean, obviously in the second inning, let's just say, for example, Marmon's out there dealing, you're feeling pretty good, you're probably not coming in, but you've done this long enough. You've been with Steve and Bobby for long enough. You know how these games set up late. That's been really the key for you down there, and not just for you, but also helping keep everybody else sharp as well. You and I talked about that as well. Fill me in on that.
Yeah, I mean you kind of just let the game play out, and you like last year it was kind of easy with the starting pitching that we had, right? So we weren't in the game hardly ever before the sixth inning, which was nice. So it was good in that sense, but a lot of it is, yeah, just when do these guys start getting ready, or when do they go down to the bullpen, or who needs to start paying attention to who's coming up, who's on deck, stuff like that. It's just you know the game enough to where you're kind of helping guys like, hey, they might go to you, or hey, there's two lefties coming up, so Ben, it might be you for two hitters, or um, the new guy Beard last year, right? Same thing with him. It's just kind of helping them in the process of everything that goes into it before they get into the game.
Last year for you, and I'm interested just because I know you got we're talking, when we'll sign that contract opening day or whatever, whenever you get to it, but how much did last year affect your thinking in this off season?
Honestly, it had a lot to do with it. Bobby Mungo did a great job. So did Raf, of putting together a really good clubhouse. And the years that I've been there, I would say the only clubhouse comparable to that was probably 2019. And we had a bunch of fun in 2019. You were on the other side of that, but we had a lot of fun then.
Well,
And
tell me about
and
it.
last year was as close to that as I could get, right? So I think having fun, a lot of those younger guys, everybody was good dudes, and we had a lot of fun, and it showed on the field. So I trust that they're going to do it again. I don't know if it's going to be a lot of the same guys or what, but um, I'll be back there, and we'll see if we can't get a championship.
Couple things here. A guy named Bruce, looks like Fishbach, I think's his name. He says, is Gert going for JD's age record? I don't know if that's very fair. Is it? Is that fair?
Oh man, I got to play what, another 12 years to get up there.
Yeah, I mean, I might be like in the old folks' home if that happens, for crying out
I
loud.
know.
That's not fair. Apparently, this is Bobby here. Yes, his role is grandpa, and he is a branch of me. This is Bobby saying this. He runs the pen, the boys down there for Bobby. So yeah, Bobby chimes in that apparently you have a name. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, when Bobby takes his mound visits, he reminds me all the time how old I am. So that's always fun.
You know, I wasn't on my list of things, but I'm interested in that because you do know him well and you know Mongo well. Take me into, is there any point during the season? I mean, when we're all I'm in the booth trying to sweat out a win and the fans are on the edge of their seats. Is there any kind of jovial moments in those tense moments? Has it always been? I mean, there's got to be some point where Bobby said something crazy or funny, or you said something funny, because it can't always be just tense out there, is it? Is it always
Uh,
that way on the
I'm
mound?
I do my best to try to keep it light in the dugout, and I'll try to crack a joke to Bobby or Mongo, but that's usually in the first couple innings when the game's not too tight. But when it is tight, then I just hear the earful on the walkie. So, but I mean, Bobby will be able to tell you more, but most of his mound visits last year were either telling me he's giving me a breather because I'm old, or I was calling him out just to give myself a breather. So it never was really anything serious. And you could probably see us laughing a bunch too. So, and
Uh,
then it's seventh, eighth inning, it doesn't really matter. It's all the same.
I caught one. I forget the game, but there was a game last year where I caught it on the screen, and they had a good side view, and they were talking with, and all of a sudden, they're looking at Bobby's face, and Bobby's kind of cracking a smile, and then you kind of turn to look away like you're trying not to smile, and then it caught you kind of smiling, and I'm like, boy, I'm thinking to myself, boy, it's intense time out there on the mound, and
Yeah.
the screen's showing me one thing, the screen showed me one thing. I'm saying something else. I'm kind of tongue in cheek about it, so I didn't remember seeing that. So I know what goes on there. But let's see here. I'm gonna got folks chiming in here. Jason saying, "Girk." We got Jason. Let's go. Robbie saying, "Let's go." Explorers Expresso. Dan Vaughn with you. Nate Gherkin, who has plans to come back in 26. Looking forward to that. Um, you still love the game. I think that's pretty safe to say.
Yeah.
Why is that? What is it in your blood? Is it just you? Is it what is it that, I mean, you love this game. I know you do.
Honestly, I do still love it, and I think that's why I'm coming back to play. And Bobby and Mongo stuck with me for 23 and 24 when I wasn't really throwing the ball very well. Bunch of off the field stuff, but I it wasn't baseball that wasn't going good or that I didn't like, and that's what I figured out. And I think until my body either tells me it's time or I stop enjoying showing up every day and doing all those things, I think is when I'll hang them up. But I mean, up until now, I still enjoy it, and I was still getting people out last year. So I always tell Bobby every spring training, you can ask him. I'm always like, hey, if my stuff's not there, like you better tell me before I go out there and embarrass myself.
Right.
But we haven't got to that point yet, so we'll just keep going out there and trying to win some games.
Flores Expresso here, Sioux City. Matter of fact, Robbie says Girk is the new mayor of Sioux City. Apparently, you're gonna. I didn't know, wasn't aware of that, but that's good news. I'm sure you're excited having a mayor title. Maybe that's going to be the title. Here comes the mayor. I don't know, but
Yeah, maybe we can get a T-shirt night tonight this year.
There you go. Is that asking too
I've been
much?
there. I've been there 6 years, and I think I've only gotten one.
Well, that's ridiculous. I mean, that's ridiculous. We got to put a stop.
We got to
to
make
that.
some phone calls. Yeah.
Well, I know a few people. We'll make a few phone calls. I'll make that. But Sioux City, it has become special. I mean, it's funny because there are guys that get there, at the last moment. You get there ready to go, but it's a part of you being a part of the Explorers family and being a part of Sioux City. I know it's important to you. Why is that?
Honestly, I think it had to do when I got there in 2019, and a lot of what Bobby and Mongo said even then, they still say now, and it's not a lot of glamour. It's not a bunch of bells and whistles and flashy, but we do things the right way, and we try to get guys out. So you're not supposed to be comfortable there, right? I'm still coming back because I enjoy it, and I enjoy Bobby, and I enjoy playing. But for these younger guys like a Ben Dete, you don't need the bells and whistles. You don't need all the fancy stuff because you don't need to get comfortable here. We're trying to get you guys out of here and move on. And that's what Sioux City does. It's not the biggest market. It's not the best city. It's not the best field. But every year we're in the playoffs. Last year we had the best record. So Bobby and Mongo are doing something right.
Okay, well, we may have the best. We don't have, maybe not do the fancy stadium, but we have the best. We have the best shows. I mean, that's given, right? I mean,
good production, good radio.
I need somebody else to say we have the best broadcaster and all. I mean, we do have a great radio show. We do some things. We're not the backwoods in a log cabin for crying out loud. We do some things. I mean, right?
No, you guys, we do some good things, but if like from a player standpoint, everybody's like, well, why do you keep going back to Sioux City? Why don't you go somewhere else? I was like, well, I could go somewhere else, but somewhere else doesn't have Bobby Mongo. Somewhere else doesn't have what I've come to enjoy about playing in Sioux City. So you make the most of it, right? You can be somewhere else and say the same thing, right? But we show up every day. We go to work. You guys on the back end of everything too, in the production, you show up and do what you guys got to do. And I think that's what makes Sioux City special.
Flores Expresso and Nate Gherkin and Dan Vaughn with you. Let me compare. You and I have a common bond as well through Australia. Through you played in Perth. I still represent Perth. Still very tied in. I'll do a show tonight for we have the most obnoxious fans. Robbie says too, by the way. But you went over to a place where culture is important. The reason I'm going there, I find it interesting. Steve Montgomery pitched in Perth back in the '90s. You pitched there. There's a certain, and I've tried to explain this to people that don't know the Australian Baseball League, but the Western Australian culture of baseball is a very interesting one where not anybody can go play there. You got to be able to fit in and have a certain belief. It's sort of like Sioux City in a way. I mean, it's Perth is the middle of nowhere. You're not in Sydney or Melbourne. Sioux City's sort of, we're not the big city, but there's a special culture of being a part of the Perth Heat, and it's similar to being a part of Sioux City, albeit different countries. I find that interesting. I just would love your thoughts on my comparing the two.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say it's a good comparison, right? Because when I was there in Perth, obviously I was there in COVID, so I didn't get the full experience of a full season or fans or anything like that. But yeah, it is a very tight-knit group from the team to the fans to the owners. And it's kind of the same way in Sioux City, right? You have to do a good job bringing guys in that, like you said, fit that culture, fit the style of baseball you want to play, and fits the city as well.
Floors Expresso with Nate Girk and Dan Vaughn with you on the 7th of January. Okay. Well, you've got, I don't know if you know, I don't think we talked about this. We just saw I mentioned where JD Shelton retiring for this, second or third time. Uh,
Yeah, he says that, and he might be in spring training. Who knows?
we may look up in July and he's saving the day again, but
Yeah,
you got,
exactly.
you're really, how was that relationship? I mean, granted, he's a little older than you. How was that experience working with a guy with a totally different resume than anybody else in that bus?
I mean, I said it every day last year and the year before when he was with us. Like, I have the utmost respect for that guy. He comes to the field every day. He's working a full-time job. And there wasn't ever a day that he took off. He's out there working hard. He's running. He's doing his bullpens. He's doing mechanics. Great teammate. Just not a single bad thing to say about the guy. And the only bad thing I'll say about him is now he's gone, I'm the oldest guy on the team. But no, me and him, I would say we had a really good relationship. He was down in the bullpen for a little bit, which was fun because we get a lot of conversations down there. But no, I'm gonna miss playing with JD, and I think nobody thought he was gonna do what he did. Nobody thought he was gonna come back last year. So I mean, at 45 years old, 44 years old, that's incredible. I'm 33 and stuff's already hurting. So
Well, you both got 19 wins, so your next win would break that tie because you guys are tied both for fourth in Sioux City Explorer history. So you do have that. You guys are even right now. Hopefully, you can perhaps break that at some point. I would think. I mean,
yeah,
that's sort of cool. But
hopefully I get a couple.
you've also your first in appearances in the organization history, second in the league behind Victor Capiano. You and I talked about this quite a bit. He has you need 62. Is there any chance you just tell Bobby and Mongo, hey, I'm ready every day next year to get the 62? Get the
Well,
62
I'm
you
ready
need?
every day anyway. It's a matter of if they're going to throw me. But I think to break the record would be pretty cool. But 62 is a lot. It'd have to be a bunch of one-out appearances, which I don't have a problem with. But no, they know I'm ready every day. But if we can get it done, that'd be great. If not, I'll take a championship instead.
Absolutely, absolutely. Did you know too? And I didn't put this in the notes a lot. I didn't put this. I caught this after the season in my end of season report. I may have mentioned it in July, and I may have mentioned it to you, but you're 11th in strikeouts. So I figured you get a couple of those, you're going to find yourself in the top 10 in the organization strikeouts. I don't know if did I mention that to you? Did you know? Were you aware that you're 210? That's 11th. The only thing you need like two more to get to 10.
Oh
That's
no, the way Bobby and Mongo always remind me too that I'm not striking as many guys out anymore. So it might take a month or so to get to those two. But no, the strikeouts and wins are cool, but I think it's from a bullpen perspective, like getting that number one appearance record that's just I think a bigger accomplishment than the strikeouts and stuff like that. But yeah, if we bring up the strikeout record, they're gonna wear me out about that. So
I'll keep it out of the game notes. Then there'll be no notes in that, so
yeah,
we don't have any. That way we don't have any issues because they do read the game notes, and I don't want them to go, oh well, Gherkin needs two. Come on, I mean I don't want to do that
yeah,
to you, but Explorers Expresso with Nate Gherkin, Dan Vaughn with you here on this first Wednesday of the new year in 26. You mentioned Bobby and Mongo. You've got relationships there and you are a player. They are, your manager, Steve Montgomery. Let's start with Steve. That relationship. How has that evolved, and what? I mean, you've been around a while, so you know some of the things that make him tick, and et cetera.
yeah.
Uh, I always use the word passion for him. He's a passionate guy.
Passion's a
Your
good
thoughts
word.
on that? Is that a good word for him?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I mean, it is passion, right? So anybody who takes it any other way is just maybe a little too sensitive. But there was a situation last year where we went on, I think like somehow we were still winning, but we weren't playing very well, like a 2 or 3 game stretch. And I could just sense it. I go, I think Mongo's going to blow up on us. And years passed, right, before he lost all the weight, he was screaming and throwing tables and just getting after it. Well, he comes in, he calls a meeting, and he's talking like me and you were talking. And I'm like, wow, this is a new Steve. But I mean, it is passion, right? He's kind of toned it down a little bit since 2019, 22, and all those years, but nobody wants to win in that clubhouse more than him. Nobody wants to bring a championship home more than him, and he's a guy that you love to play for and probably hate to play against, right? But
Yeah, no, yeah.
it's comparable to like a Chase Jesse, right? Passion. You don't like it on the other side, but you sure love it on your side.
Yeah, and I'll take you back to when I was in Kansas City. Uh, he first off, he and I talked about Australia because of my work with Perth, but I knew him. I knew him as a manager even when I was in Kansas City, and I used to always say because if you're let's use your Monarchs or T-Bones fan, boy, you didn't like Bongo. You didn't like that guy. Yeah, let's beat their butt.
I
Let's
mean,
you
I
want
don't think you liked anybody on Sioux City if you were a Monarchs fan at that
to
point,
right,
or a
right.
T-Bones back then.
Sure. And but I mentioned this several times, and I know Chris Brown would vouch for this because Brownie was there at the time. There are others that are front office folks who tell me, as I would say, well, yes, you wanted to beat his butt in the X's butts, but you also had a respect because you knew that passion was thing I don't think people realize because they're not on the bus with us every day. They're not in the clubhouse. I mean, I'll take you back to last year, for example, when things went south in that Sioux Falls series to end the year. He wasn't in his office. You know where he was. What do you don't recall that story? He was sitting on the bench down there by the office by himself. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, this is a guy that has passion that people don't see. I think that's misjudged a lot.
yeah. I think again, it's just what people don't see behind the scenes, right? They see the fire on the field, and I would say since I've been in Sioux City, we've been known as probably a little chirpy, a little scrappy. But that's because you kind of have to be that way when you're playing behind a guy. You can't let him have more fire than you have, right?
Right.
So it kind of just that you talk about the culture, and I think it starts with him.
Absolutely. By the way, Bobby says that something about a purse. I don't know what that means exactly, but apparently there's a purse. This purse is going. Can I? All right. I'm going to tell you a story that happened to me yesterday. You're going to appreciate this, Nate, because I was in a coffee shop here in Dallas, and I'm walking. I'm got my laptop set up doing it. I had to work in my office here for various reasons, but I'm working, and a guy walks in, and he's carrying a man's carryall, and I think he caught me snickering. I wasn't laughing at him. I was laughing at all the back and forth that we have with Mongo and his man's carryall. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
what
calling it a man's carry-on is politically correct for Mongo, but it's a purse. And me and Bobby are joking with him that he's going to have a matching one for the road, and he'll have a bust one, and he'll have all this matching shoes to go with it. But I mean, he can deny it all he wants, but he's going to show up and he's going to have it. So, the whole thing of it fits my lineup cards is the biggest joke I've ever heard.
Yes, here at Explorers Expresso, Dan Vaughn and Nate Gherkin with you. Bobby has been your pitching coach the entire time. We kind of joked a little bit about the earlier about the relationship on the mound and all that, but in all seriousness, I mean, he's a guy that champions you guys. He always has. Um, that relationship is pretty special as well for you. I take it.
Yeah, I mean, Sioux City, when I got there in 2019, that's what everybody told me. They were known for pitching. And after being there as long as I have now, it's clear why, right? Bobby takes guys that maybe were once at a high level or throwing hard and lost it. And for some reason, he's got the magic touch to get guys back to where they were or even better, right? And he's not on top of the pitching staff as far as nitpicking what we do. He trusts that we're all grown men and we're going to go out there and do what we need to do. And I, again, they're not the bullpen coach, but I just try to help guys try to start doing the things that Bobby likes us to do. And it's still in your own way, but I mean, Bobby's out there every day. If you call him and say, "Hey, I want to get to the field at noon and throw," he'll be there at 10 o'clock, right? So he's not going to force anything on you, but if you ask for help, he'll give you as much as you need. And I think that's one of the main reasons I keep coming back to is the relationship with him. He understands my stuff, and if there's adjustments that we need to make at this point, it happens very quick because I understand what he's saying and he can see it faster than most people.
Nate Gherkin with us, rounding third with him. Going to head home in a moment, let him go and go back to what he was doing. But you long enough that you've been there, you've developed not just 1 year of relationships, multiple years of relationships since 2019. Any relationships stand out to you that you're so thankful for?
I mean, if you're going back to 2019, I think the one that stands out for me, and he's not here anymore, was Poberico. Um, Me and him were pretty close and got close with Bobby and Mongo, and it was not just a player relationship, not just it went beyond baseball, right? So that's another thing that I'm thankful for is all the years that I played in Sioux City, the relationships that I've had, um, and all that stuff. And I thank Bobby and Mongo for sticking with me this long.
Yeah, I was hoping that's the name you would say. I didn't want to ask it that way. Just say, hey, how about Matt, the late Matt? But that was a special relationship, and thank you for saying that because that was a special situation. I know that means a lot to you, and I appreciate the answer. I do. I really appreciate it. And you want to add anything else about that relationship that you just out of curiosity? Is there anything else that comes to mind about that?
Um, no, I mean I mean if you ever watched him play, he just kind of played with you talk about joy and having fun on the field and passion and the um, just how he was on the mound, right? Which is very totally opposite of me. And you watched me and him pitch eighth, ninth inning for 2 years against you, and it is two complete opposites on the field, but for whatever reason off the field it worked, right? So he taught me how to have fun and enjoy it, and baseball's a game of failure, right? So if we have a bad inning, guess what? We're probably going to be in there the next day. So
Right.
that relationship, and then probably Bobby and Mongo's relationship, right? Those guys they're the pitching coach, they're the manager, but it goes well beyond that for those two guys for me.
Yeah, they're outstanding. Jason even says the care package of seeds and ghost energy drinks. He said, I take that's inside stuff. I don't know what that means, but I take it. It was and let's see here. This one right here. What about when he hit him the butt on flat ground? Love that guy. I guess that was Bobby, I guess. You know anything about it? Does that
Yeah,
sound familiar? I think.
that's a funny story. We were playing catch. Well, I forget. I think it had to be in 2019 or 21, but he just missed the ball that I threw him right at him, and he kind of went like this, and it hit him right in his butt cheek, and he just punted his glove and walked into Bobby's office and said he's quitting. Girk hit me. I'm done. I can't pitch tonight. And you know how the rest goes. And I mean, me and Bobby were just dying.
Great story about Matt Pomerico and Nate Gherkin. Hey, what is your normal day right now? I just got to ask, what do you got going on next? What's going on with you next? Are you working out? Are you working? So what are you doing like on a Wednesday in the Mountain Time Zone?
I'm actually working with Max Coons. Um,
Yeah,
just kind of well, I'll go work out and throw in the mornings, come home, and then me and him, we're doing an arm program at a facility down here. So just me and him hanging out from 3 to 7:30 every night and doing that, and then trying to get in shape. And I'll be heading out here in a couple months.
gotcha. Hey, thanks for the time today. I appreciate it, and I'm so looking forward to having you back in 26, whether it be opening day when we sign it, or if we do it next week. Whenever you get around to it, I mean, just as long as it's done by first pitch on opening night, that's pretty much all we got to do, right? It's pretty much it,
Yeah.
right?
Well, that's this year. I asked Mongo, I was like, "Are you going to send me my contract sooner this year, or are we just going to do it in the office?" Still haven't got one, and I'm assuming at this point they're just used to me signing it in the office. So at least now we can get out and say I'm coming back, and it's
Right.
not a huge secret.
Right. Well, it's like and Tom told me, he goes, yeah, he's coming back, but I don't know I don't know the contract. It's sort of like it's one of those deals where you kind of know. It's like, okay, we'll get we got that one. We'll sign it whenever, and
Yeah.
okay, so it's
Well,
all
that's
good.
what I
Hey,
told them. I was like, "You guys go worry about building a team and
there you
do
go.
all that stuff. We'll figure out my stuff when I get there. I'm
Hey,
not.
Nick,
You can ask them. I don't really haggle them on too much. I don't even know what I was making last 2 years. So if they want me back, we'll take care of the rest.
we're looking forward to having you back. Hey, Nate, appreciate you, man. Love you, and we will see you down the road. And have a great rest of the week. Okay,
Will do.
appreciate it,
Thanks,
John.
Dan. Appreciate
There
it.
he is. There he is, Nate Gherkin right there. Appreciate his time as always. What a good dude. I mean, that guy gets it. He understands. He understands the game. He understands what we're about. If you could, and I've talked about this a lot from my Australian point of view, okay? Because you can't go play in Perth in Western Australia without you just can't show up because, well, I'm an American, I'm really good, right? That doesn't work that way. There's a certain way they want their players to go about their business, a certain pride of the organization, of the state, all that, right? It's sort of like not everybody's a fit for everywhere, right? I mean, for example, I'll use me as a broadcaster. I would not be a perfect fit in certain places because that's just not my style, right? It's not really my thing. You can still be classy and not have the style they're looking for, and you got to understand the culture you're at. And that's why I believe Sioux City is the perfect culture for my job and for guys like Nate, because you've got to get it, right? You have to understand. You have to understand that culture. I've had this long conversation with Brad Allred down in Cleveland several times. You've got to understand the culture, whether it be whatever league you're in, whatever team you're in. And if you don't get it, and not everybody's going to fit in. There aren't those the round peg and the square circle, so to speak, right? Those happen all the time. And those players, staffers, whoever, they don't last. It's always been the case. And there's a reason why these relationships matter. There's a reason why Max Coons and Nate Gherkin are working out together because they get it, right? It's a cultural thing. And it doesn't mean they're any better than anybody else. It doesn't mean we're better than anybody else. It's just the way it works. And you got to find that blend. It's like Nate was saying, you got to find that blend of culture. You got to find those pieces that are going to match what you're trying to do as an organization. Sports Expresso, Dan Vaughn with you. Glad you're along here on the video live show and you folks on podcasts. It's now our time to get to again, the question of the show I asked earlier. I think we go back to a couple of those earlier. Let's see here. Robbie wanted Aaron Judge. No, that's not the case. Let's see here. What else do we say? I don't think I missed anything too much here. Good to see John Witt out there. Steito, how you doing, mate? Robbie, see you guys. Mom, hope you're feeling better. Love you so much. And looks like we're all caught up there here on Explorers Expresso. Time to look at right now. The question of the show was the two I had for you. What moment during the holidays made you look forward to the 26th season? Was there a movie you saw? Maybe a memory popped up, a photo you saw, a Christmas gift you saw, or you got? And the other question was, so far, who's the player you're most excited about for 26? I mean, and granted, it's a limited roster, 10 players, but I mean, there's got to be a name out there. I personally, and somebody asked me a moment ago, well, DB, what's yours? And I think I'm going to tell you I again, I've waffled back and forth on this one, and it's kind of a either Alberto Osuna, the young man who really the sky I think's the limit there, and the other being Cam Buford, the young man from Grambling that had the home runs plenty. Wherever he's been, he's hit home runs. Those two names right there have got me really fired up, and I that's just me personally. As soon as the story went to North Carolina, went to Tennessee, trying to get an extra year in this crazy NIL world we live in now. He didn't get that extra year at Tennessee, and now he came out played a short time in the Atlantic League. I think there's a lot there, and I'm excited about that. Those are just my takes on it right there here in Explorers Expresso. Look around the league. Let's check around the association. What's going on? The league right now. Let me adjust the camera for you folks on the video side. There we go. Um, the GM meetings, as a matter of fact, they're probably at lunch right now. They're maybe one or two might be watching this show. I hope they are. Hello, general managers of the American Association. Tom Backmeyer, perhaps watching us right now. Be great. But maybe Shane Tritz is tuning in from Lincoln with those boys. He's with that in that trip. I did see that they were the league meetings and the GM meetings anyway. The league meetings already happened before Christmas. The GM meetings are happening in St. Paul right now, and it's the business of baseball. It's what you do when the holidays are over. The schedule's out. They're discussing things. There'll be a lot of protocols they're probably discussing, some social media, some broadcast things of that nature, and all that. That's all going to be what will be the main crux what they're doing. This goes on every year, and I found it interesting personally that they're in St. Paul, a former league city, but I do believe if you've read the tea leaves and if you've sort of followed the American Association, you do know that the association does have a plan to possibly be in Blaine, Minnesota, 27, 28-ish. So that's just north of St. Paul, but that's where they're at right now. The association having their meetings at the moment. A couple of the notes too, just in general, I'm not going to go through the whole transaction sheet because it's really, it's sort of, it's not against these teams. I'm not trying to poo-poo what they're doing because I think it's important what all these teams are doing. But I think it's important to note that there's a couple names out there that are probably pretty big, and I'll give those to you right here on Explorers Expresso. Transaction-wise, Cleburne probably made the best move of a free agent signing within the league this year, I think. When Brantley Bell was signed yesterday by Cleburne. It's an interesting dynamic in Cleburne. Pete Caviglia is still the manager. My understanding is, from what I hear, is that there's some differences on how they're building the roster from years prior, and they're being a little more aggressive early on, from what I understand. And this is not just from Brad Allred, but also from chatter around the league that I've heard. But they're definitely, they've got a real unique ability in Cleburne of being in the third largest market in the country, a lot of ball players down here, and they're also going to be more aggressive free agent-wise within the league, and they did pick up probably the best middle infielder that was available out there in Brantley Bell, was most recently in Chicago. Also, they brought back Jesus Liano. He was one time at Chicago as well. Kansas City, a couple of guys that I think are important. Stephon Moore, the former Salt Dog, has been in Kansas City the last couple of seasons, the lefty. He's been a really good piece for Joe Capietra's bullpen. He's back. And I also saw they signed Jeff Hackinson, who was the closer last year. X has had some good work against him, but he was good against the league. Some bullpen depth down there. And those names kind of jump out at me right here. Just looking at a couple of the transactions. Those one within the division and the two within the division, and a couple names going to Cleburne there here on Explorers Expresso. One more note as well, and this from the league. The league has several markets: Sioux City, Fargo, Lincoln, Kansas City, Sioux Falls. They all have a group of stations owned by, or have stations owned by, Gray Media. Gray Media. I don't know if you guys have heard of Gray Media, but they own KTIV, for example. They're in Sioux City. And why am I telling you this? Well, they've the league, the American Association, and Gray Media have added another year to their contract, an extension, a 1-year agreement with Gray Media. Part of the extension, Gray will continue to provide association games free over the air in several markets, including Now, granted, what the story doesn't tell you, I'm going to read the league story. I'm going to tell you how important this is to Sioux City, but tells us that they'll be over the air in markets like the Arizona Family Sports Network in Arizona, Peachtree in Georgia, that's in the Atlanta area, Silver State, Nevada area, that's Silver State's in Las Vegas, but across Nevada. Games also across Gray's portfolio of local stations, 100 markets nationwide. Also going to probably be carrying, they're going to be carrying games of the week in major markets like Atlanta, Vegas, Portland, Cincinnati. Don't see DFW. That's a major market. Don't see that here, but I'm just being snarky here. There's no great television here in this market, though. But they're going to have major, there going to be some broadcast in markets at a Major League Baseball. And Gray has that capability. The one thing the league story didn't tell you that I want to give you from a Sioux City perspective, but I think it's very important, and this is a big tip of the cap to Tom Backmeyer, our friends down at KTIV, owner John, everybody involved in the baseball and broadcast community in our city, is that KTIV on both MeTV and KTIV broadcast several games last year on the Gray station locally. And that's something that's not mentioned in this. They're also broadcast in Fargo and in Sioux Falls. We had games on up there. And a big thanks to those folks. It means that continued relationship is going to be big for us in Sioux City. Again, the league's trying to sell the entire package. I get it. But from us in our little neck of the woods, this is great news to see this Gray television partnership with the American Association back. That means that that extension is going to only benefit us as well. League-wide, it'll also benefit us as well. Nate Sampson says, Chris Need, what did I miss on the screen? That's funny. But again, this great partnership is greatness as far as, getting the local television eyeballs. Because let's face it, if you live in a major market, I'll use our Kansas City brethren. You live in Kansas City, you get every Royals game or most of the Royals games locally, and you're able to you can't go to every game. You're able to kind of come and go. You can kind of walk through the backyard and grab the spatula as you flip a burger and see what's going on in the game. You come back inside with the burgers, right? That's all part of it, right? Having a local game going on all the time, it keeps them in your mind all the time. You may not be able to make every game in Sioux City, but if you're perhaps on the patio with the family and you walk back to the house and you see the game on, it's like the radio broadcast for us. We hear so many people tell me, JB and I talk about this all the time, how big it is for us to have our games on the radio because people hear them and it kind of becomes background. I don't want to say noise, it's background stuff. And they think, okay, I'm not at the X's game tonight, but I'll be there tomorrow night. Or I'll be there Friday. It's always on. It's always something. I know for me growing up as a kid, the Texas Rangers were always on. It's part of what makes baseball because you play so many games. It does become complementary noise in your life. And it's very important. You walk in, turn the radio on or turn the stream on. It's the same thing. So having Gray as a partner again for Sioux City is huge for us. It's huge for the league, but it's very big for us locally. And I want to throw that out there as well. Casey says, hope all is well, Dan. Casey, I'm doing well. Hope you're doing as well, mate. As I froze up for a moment there. Why did I freeze there? Sorry about that. Froze for a moment. Here on Explorers Expresso, Dan Vaughn with you. So that's my natural pause for that pause I just did for you folks on the video side. That pause is for the audio to slide the audio in, the bonus content on our podcast edition. You're asking, what's the bonus content, Vaughn? Well, we're still going about the look of things in the 1890s, right? 1894 is what we're doing. So we're doing that right now. I'm wrapping up the 1894 season. You can catch up in the final days as we kind of wrap up this winter hot stove. We're going to be wrapping up the 1894 season and looking forward to our flashbacks coming up this summer during our broadcast. So I've just taken an extra time to add a little bonus content. A lot of you folks do like it. So we hear that for you folks that are listening on the podcast. You're going to hear that. You folks are watching live. You don't, but you want to see those. Here's where the flashbacks are. They're all right there. There they are. Yeah, go to the screen there. Go to that right there. I can actually put it up if you need me to. I can do this. Let's see here. There we go. I'll put this in the chat so you guys can go there and check it out. And you can go to all of our flashbacks there. For you folks in Kansas City, there's some old Monarch stuff on that page as well you might like. So there it is right there. You can check that out. But then that's where the bonus content is on Explorers Expresso. All right, let's wrap things up. Upcoming schedule. Let's see here. What we got? We got a couple things. Oh, we got, let's see here. Nate Sampson says the pause was sexy. Thank you, Nate. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're doing well, man. I miss you, man. You're just we had Nate Gherkin on earlier, and having another Nate on here, and just a guy. Talk about a guy that gets it, man. That's another guy that gets it. Let's see here. Chris Sneed says, Nate Sampson, we need you to come back. Nate Seption. There we go. There we go. I love it. I love it. Awesome stuff. But yeah, good to see Nate out there. He holds about between him and Michael Lang. You look at the record. I look at these all the time. Those two names just back and forth, all the offensive records. So, and I was actually looking yesterday, Nate, because I was pulling up Gherkin's numbers to make sure I had them right. And of course, the offensive numbers on one page, the pitching on the other, and I'm like, Sampson, over and over again here on Explorers Expresso. All right, for you folks that are wondering about this podcast thing, right? We do have the podcast. There's the podcast page. It's right there. There it is on the screen. I will also put it in the chat as well. And the reason it's what it is for you folks that don't want to go, maybe you're not, you love Facebook and all that. That's great. But we do have the podcast version of this show. It's up within about an hour of now. It'll be up. It's there for you guys to peruse, and it's got all the old interviews, whether it be you want to hear from whoever. The Christmas specials up, and plus I mentioned the bonus content, but they're all there. And we're getting a steady group of folks downloading those podcasts. And sometimes you can't catch the whole show live. That's great. You can download the podcast, catch it as you go, and get all the updated news on the Sioux City Explorers. I'm sure other teams are doing this. I don't know. I'm going to pat myself in the back here. I know what we're doing. And we're going to do the best we can to give you the best coverage of your team, of anybody in the league. That's my goal. And, it may not be the fanciest bells and whistles sometimes. I may have some meltdowns time to time, maybe technical wise, but no one's going to give you the effort we're going to give you. A little engine that could, that is the Sioux City Explorers media relations team. There we go. So they're going to head to the podcast page. There it is. I'll put up the screen, or actually on the chat right there, and you guys can check it out. Upcoming, our next show will be the 21st. The 21st is coming, the next show, the next Explorers Expresso. It will be, again, I mentioned we do have guests coming. I do have that. I do have guests coming, but I don't know. We haven't got that far just yet. But we'll have the 21st and the next show followed by the 4th of February and the 18th of February. So it's the next 3 shows. So make those plans to join us right here live on Facebook, on my YouTube page, and that's Dan TTU's YouTube page, and then right here on our Facebook page, and of course the podcast page as well. Kendra says, let me put this down. Sorry, Kendra, let me put this up here on the screen. Let's see. You need Nate and Michael Lane to come back. They're a dynamic duo. Happy New Year's, X's. Kendra, Happy New Year to you as well. I'll just let you read what Christito said. I will just kind of just chuckle. I know who they don't have. That's all I can say. There we go. There we go. Very funny. Very funny here on Explorers Expresso. Last call. You guys have questions and comments. You want to chime in? It's your chance right here as we round third, and we are down that baseline. I'm chugging away, coming down that line. Ready for some Go X's in a moment. I will take your comments. You got anything you want to throw out there? Again, this show is very therapeutic for me. I got through it somehow, some way. We're doing some experiments with the background for you folks on video. I know this is not going to be the set full time. I got a couple things working on right now. I just can't do the show in my office right now. It just can't be done. So we're going to be doing some experimenting with moving it around some places. So just bear with me. This was the set when I was in Gary's South Shore. For you folks on audio, you're not seeing this, but it's the bookshelf behind me. This is we're actually in our dining room. My wife has it's all books. It's all books. And the behind me is a bunch of books. To my left, there's bookshelves everywhere. And this is sort of it makes for a cool set. Now, there are baseball books behind me, but like a whole right here, all baseball. But the rest are all like for smart people, like Dr. Vaughn. And she's really smart. I mean, Last Time Out by John Nagowski's father, John Nagowski Sr. Seasons in Hell, about the Rangers. I've got a Shoeless Joe collection. I've got the Ragtime Baseball, you name it, all kinds of baseball books there. But most of the books, though, are going to be like The Life of Pi, for example, or Shakespeare. I mean, let me just show you. For you folks in audio, this is my wife's collection, the William Shakespeare. It's the complete plays of William. Look how thick that is. It's like as big as I can hide behind it. That's the set here. So I don't know if this will be the set full time, but for the time being, until my heart heals a little bit, till my heart heals some, we will do it probably here or somewhere, but it won't be in my office for a while. Let's see. You're closing things out here. Today feels like baseball weather outside here. I think it's going to be 70 here in the DFW as well. Nate says, wishing you a Happy New Year 2026, your year. Thank you very much, Nate. Appreciate you. And it's 86 and breezy down there in Florida. Nate, I was in Florida a week ago, and it was like in the 50s down there. They were freezing down there in Miami, not freezing, but for them it was 58, and they were like wearing 3/4 zips and panicking. But anyway, yes, Snito, it was Monarchs legend John Nagowski's dad wrote a book. Yes, he did. It's a great book, by the way. Last Time Out. It's a great book. All right, guys, that is it, man. Thanks for the show. Thanks for stopping by again. I needed this. And what you're probably wondering is what I'm talking about. We lost our dog Max over the weekend. I know he was old, but it's a gut punch. The thing about it is, unlike siblings or family or cousins, or I guess that's family, your old mates from college, your drinking buddies, your whoever, they can talk back to you and tell you that you stink, or that we don't want to see you today, or man, you suck. Our pets aren't like that. They're not, man. They show the ultimate love. That I think that's why we love them so, right? Because we can hug our loved ones. I'll hug my wife, love her dearly. I love her more than anything in the world. And she can also tell me, well, help me clean the kitchen, right? Right? But the animals in our lives, they don't have that. It's sort of like, it's like that infant that doesn't have anything more to do but cry, right? You love them and they're just crying. And you can't, and dogs are like that, and cats are like that. You can't always figure out what's going on, but you love them anyway, and they're always happy to see you, right? And I think that's the reason it hurts so much. The other thing I would say too is that having multiple animals at one time is a plus, because now without an animal in the house, we got to start over, right? But if you had a couple in the house, you're not going to replace the one you lost, but you've got some love still there, right? You got that face looking back at you saying, well, I'm still here, right? That's probably something we've done differently if we could, but it's been a gut punch. I can't explain it. I can't. I can't explain the why it's so hard. I don't. It's tough. But that's part of life, and I think the more than my wife and I've talked about it's because they don't look back at you, and I think they're the ultimate lesson of love. And I think that's the thing that I want to encourage you guys as we go to 26. Let's try to be more like the good pups in our life and show love no matter what. Let's wag our tails and be happy to see folks no matter what jersey they wear, no matter what team they cheer for, no matter who they vote for or don't vote for, or whatever they say on social media. Let's still love them anyway, because that's really the best way to love. And if you're a person of faith, you know this, right? And so that's what I would say as we close here on Explorers Expresso. Stino, I appreciate you. Everybody else for the kind words as well. You guys, except for Stino, because he won't do Go X's, but everybody else can do Go X's. If you're ready, I'm ready. I don't think I missed anything else. I think we're all good here. Again, download the podcast. Podcast download. Just download it. If you don't want to listen to it, just help my download numbers. I'm just kidding. I'd love for you to download and listen as well, so do that. All right, again, our next show, look at my cheat notes here, coming up is going to be on the drum roll, 21st of January. If you really want to catch a short show this afternoon, go to Baseball's Best Mate. That's on Facebook, Baseball's Best Mate. I guess I can probably throw a graphic up there for you real quickly. Baseball's Best Mate, Paul Morgan and I will be chatting about the Australian Baseball League, which is a shorter season this year. But we'll be chatting about that at 6 o'clock Central Time. I believe that's correct. If all goes, we're having some technical issues. So if it all goes well, we'll be on at 6 o'clock Central Time. If not, shortly after that. But baseball's best mate. Here's a good grabbing of that. I can show you that. There we go. There we go. There we go. Baseball's best mate. Baseball Heads Down Under. You can check that out. We'll be doing that on our Facebook page. And there's also a podcast for that, but baseball's best mate right there. There we go. All right. Yes. Go Max. And by the way, Snedo brought a really good point up. He said maybe I should sign off the broadcast, instead of, good night, Max. So that maybe what we'll do. I think I'm going to do that this year. I mean, good night, Slider, good night, Max, both. How about that? All right. You guys ready? Let me make sure I get everything ready here. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks to Nate Gherkin for stopping by. Thanks for all you folks who stopped by 5 minutes of the entire time. I mean, I really do appreciate it. Thanks for the love. Thanks for all the kind words. Again, thanks to this guy, Nate Gherkin, for stopping by. Big thanks. Him, great stuff. Great interview as well. And he gets it, but I appreciate his time as well. Let's get ready to go here. All righty. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3. Go X's and go Max. And I'll see you next time, everybody.
Doing the locals proud. Family and friends alike will cheer night after night as the explorers leave their opponents out of sight. Hey, well, it's baseball Sioux City style. Baseball Sioux City style. Gonna conquer the league. Hold on to your seat. The explorers just won't be beat. Lights. Baseball Sioux City style. Baseball Sioux City style. Gonna conquer the league. Hold on to your seat. The explorers just won't be beat. Come on, everybody. Well, it's baseball Sioux City style. Baseball Sioux City style. Gonna conquer the league. Hold on to your seat. The explorers just won't be beat. Well, it's baseball Sioux City style. Baseball Sioux City style. Gonna conquer the league. Hold on to your seat. The explorers just won't be beat. Well, it's baseball Sioux City style. Baseball Sioux City style.